Florence Scovel's famous book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, she says that those who ask for success and those who prepare for failure will always get what they have prepared for. And it's really important in our day and age to start asking, what are we preparing for? It's very easy to ask for the things that we think that we want or the things that we really do want, but in the consistency of our day-to-day, in the rituals that we set up for ourselves, in the thinking patterns that we organize throughout our given day, are we exercising the disciplines that indicate that we are prepared, that are telling the universe that we're prepared to be gifted what it is that we say we are asking for? Are we really preparing for abundance in our life? Are we preparing for prosperity? Or are we just merely giving lip service? Are we merely just asking for those things out of desperation of not having them, out of desperation of being in a state of stagnation, being in a poverty consciousness? One of the interesting things I notice in different sectors of the world, different schools of thought, different regions of consciousness, if you will, I notice that people have different forms of either prosperity consciousness or poverty consciousness, and it shows up differently. It's something I've been looking at for years, and I've been looking at it within my own self. I've been thinking to myself, am I really being congruent with what it is that I say I want? Are my behaviors lining up with that? Because if I'm getting mixed results in my life, I have to be very objective about what's going on in my reality, about how I'm behaving, how my words, my thoughts, my emotions, and my deeds are lining up. Are they congruent? Are they in accordance? And if not, something has to be adjusted. And if it's to be, it's up to me. I'm the only one that is in charge of my reality. I'm the only one that creates my reality, right? I am the author and the producer and the visionary of the vision that I'm crafting, and therefore I am responsible. And that's a big part of this whole health equation, this whole holistic personal care equation is sovereignty. It's taking responsibility for our lives and being the author of the story that we're scripting and saying, you know what, if this is going to happen, if things are going to change, it's going to be by volition of my actions and my behaviors and my thoughts and my emotions, and not giving my power away to other people that I believe should be actually doing for me what they're not doing. It doesn't matter what's going on the exterior world. It's really, I'm the self-governing agent of my own reality. And I've noticed it's interesting in the dietary world, you know, people that subscribe to different areas of spiritual practices. I've met a lot of different people, and my work is primarily in nutrition, nature-based nutrition. The theme of my work is that you are what you think about is directly influenced by you are what you eat, right? So the thoughts that we're thinking that are potentiating the results in our life are being influenced by the substances that we put into our golden temple. And a lot of people out there in spiritual practices even are treating their holy temple like a junk vehicle. And I got news for you guys out there. You are not a junk vehicle. You are a holy, everything that you eat should be holy sacrament, because you are a gift from the Creator. And it's interesting, I was driving by the fast food arenas in Hilo today over here on the Big Island, and I was noticing all the fast food restaurants or cafeterias, whatever, and I had this thought about the dollar menu and how we squander our value by giving over $1 in exchange for fuel for consciousness. And that fuel is actually is determining our level of consciousness. Now, a lot of people out there have this idea that, you know, it's all in your head. It's if you have a spiritual practice, if your emotions are stable, it doesn't matter what you eat, right? If you have a vision, if your thinking is right, you have a, you know, it's not what you put into your mouth that defiles you, it's what comes out of your mouth. And I believe that is true to some extent, but when Yeshua said that, when those words were written, I bet they didn't have top ramen. I bet that the governing agency wasn't using certain ingredients in that food as a weapon system for population control. I'm just assuming. So when we kind of approach food as a sign of prosperity, it's a whole different story, because my feeling is that when we invest in something, we are telling the universe exactly what we want. When we give $1 in exchange for fast food, we are telling the universe that not only are we impatient, not only are we impulsive, not only are we not thinking the situation through, not only are we not interested in long-term returns, right? Return on investment. We're also not investing in ourselves. We're not taking care of this vehicle, this vessel for consciousness that the Creator gave us, granted us, coming into this material world. I find the connection between consciousness and creating the vision for our life and food and nutrition intricately connected. You can't separate it. They're joined together at the seams. And when we start to combine those two principles, the universe opens up for us. The world becomes our oyster, so to speak. And so with that said, I want to invite everyone to start looking at the decisions, the behaviors, the relationships, the thoughts, and everything in our life, and start to identify, what is that telling the universe? How am I showing up in the world? How are my decisions about my day-to-day rituals indicating what it is that I say I want? Am I preparing for the thing I asked for? Because the reality is, we can ask for $1 million, but if I'm not of the mental calibration to handle $1 million, if I don't have the emotional temperance to receive $1 million, say for example, my comfort zone is $100 a day, right? And all of a sudden someone gives me $1 million. I guarantee there's going to be a reset button inside of me that's going to act very quickly for me to come right back to my comfort zone. That's a known principle in success in wealth consciousness, is that in order to upgrade your status, your wealth status, for example, we'll use money in this metaphor, then you have to upgrade everything going on inside of you. Because if your comfort zone, if your self-concept is that I make $1,000 a month, and that's where my comfort is, it doesn't matter how much money or how much prosperity utilities that is presented to you, you will find a subconscious mechanism. The subconscious mechanism in you will find a way to bring you right back down to your comfort zone. We see this with people that win the lottery. It only takes them about a month, maybe a year, maybe 5 years tops for them to completely exhaust out everything. And some people come back to their comfort zone. Some people are so impulsive and so impatient that they completely drop down to a further deficit than they started. They would have been better off if they were never given the money in the first place. So it's really important that we look at our day-to-day disciplines and we say to ourselves, what are we preparing ourselves for? Are we prepared to receive all that we're asking for? Because the universe is our menu, right? We essentially can order on the menu of the universe, and we're going to learn a lesson based on what we receive and our preparation for receiving it.